Thank God it is another beautiful Thursday evening on your darling station, Osrc Television. And the program is State of the State. Last week I told you I will be coming around this week to give you what you'll be able to live with. And what exactly am I talking about? Is all about your health. And as the adage goes, health is wealth. And today on the program, I will be having a conversation with a leading pathologist in the health sector. And with me today, I'll be talking to the Chief Medical Director of the brand new teaching hospital in Ondo State. Before I tell you his name, many of you will be guessing. But let me first tell you that I am your friend, Taiwo Ibitoye, your right-hand man anchor, that is now welcoming on the program Professor Olusegun Ojo, the Chief Medical Director of Federal University of Technology, Akure Teaching Hospital. Prof, welcome on the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Is this supposed to handshake a pathologist?
Of course.
Well, let me handshake.
Thank you.
Welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Yeah. Professor Olusegun Ojo has been with the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, for a very long time. And the first time he would have to come and work here was when he was appointed as the Provost of the College of Medicine, the Federal University of Technology, Akure. But today, he's sitting as the Chief Medical Director, the man who is seen to the efforts of making Ondo State a medical hub, where we will have a situation we won't be running from pillar to post. And with the discussion I have with him, I know Ondo State is going to boom in terms of medical tourism. Let me again welcome you on the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
The facility you have is the one that was signed off by the state government.
Yes.
And the transition is somehow. But let me first ask, how are you coping? How are you settling down from your background from University of Ife, coming to the Federal University of Technology as Provost of Medicine, College of Medicine, and now in the heart of town, where you have yourself as the CMD of the teaching hospital?
Well, thank you very much, sir. I didn't have to do a lot of settling down because, as you know, I'm indigenous of this town, of this state, and while I was at Ife, it's only a 1 hour drive from here. I have domiciled in Akure since the late 90s on almost a semi-permanent basis, and I have shown interest since the early 90s about having the type of medical practice that we have in Ife start in Akure. For one, Akure is a cosmopolitan area, the capital of a state which is quite of a good population. I agreed it is an agrarian community, but it's a seat of a state government.
Yeah.
And it has lacked this tertiary medical center for as long as it has existed as a state capital. We, those of us who are medical medically qualified or professors at Obafemi University always had an interest in coming to give service here because Akure and its environs was a major catchment area for our services at IFE. And I thought it became quite untenable that being so close and the state capital, we should be traveling for so long to get what you consider a basic,
tertiary
medical. Yes. So I was quite delighted when I had the opportunity to serve on sabbatical as a professor at the new medical school in Akure in 2021. And by 2023, I got appointed as the provost. Obviously, we were mentoring or we're trying to, to develop a medical program for the university here. Well, it obviously becomes necessary for us to start a teaching hospital for the clinical students. You could say that the interest in achieving in these lines has made it easy for me to cope with whatever vagaries I've come across as a person. And as a senior academic, it's a delight for me to be involved in legacy projects such as this one. And I must say that the state governor has been especially very welcoming. He has given every support to us settling down. All the milestones we passed through, he has graciously funded, and he has made himself available to negotiate difficulties when we face one. So he has been really very helpful in us settling down and in achieving the little or the modest achievements we've made.
Yeah, that's a very good one, Prof. But there was a time you were appealing to well-meaning sons and daughters of the state to come to the aid of that institution. It's a tertiary facility, health facility, medical facility, because from where we started from, the general hospital, the state specialist hospital, at a point, Unimed Teaching Hospital.
Yes.
But now it's federal Futa Teaching Hospital. We are quite aware that the facility itself, before being taken over by Futa, your management, was overstretched. A whole lot of things not available, and people have to travel. Is that you go to Abuad, you go to Ife before you could access some things. But that's why I asked the question, how are you coping now? Are you trying to enlarge? Are you trying to expand? Or are you just managing what you have for now before you have your own way of doing it the way you want it? You want it to be done.
The facilities will take time to assemble. There's no doubt about that. However, what we're in a hurry to bring in is the requisite manpower. Advanced manpower, experienced manpower. This is a framework we're trying to create for now, and the existence of federal might, the Federal Ministry of Health, or the federal budget to support, as it does, the hospital of our type all over the country, is a great fillip that we have to build on, and we have that generously available to us. We're able to contest for federal funds. And we also have the so to say, the approval to speak to funding partners, because the federal government is a federal government institution, and this is a great hope that we have that will achieve so much very soon. For example, we were made to attend a conference of all federal teaching hospitals in the country, of tertiary hospitals, where the federal government has a concept through the assistance of the Minister of State for Health, who conceptualized that all federal tertiary hospitals need to have assistance in providing alternative sources of power. That way, they created a forum whereby funding agencies and banks made money available because it was underpinned by federal government, and they are bringing developers as well. So both of them, we talk to them, I need those, I need that, and the federal government sitting back, yes, we'll guarantee you And that's a lot of help that we'll have. Power is a major issue in health service in the country. So we have such hope and possibility. But the first thing is that, which was lacking, is a framework whereby you can bring top medical manpower to the state. As at the time I was coming in 2021, it was quite a lot of sacrifice because I had no hospital in which to practice. So I lost a lot of income at that time. But now, because the teaching hospital exists, we're able to attract, there are professors now who are on sabbatical at the university who are now being given job at the hospital and being paid and given facilities to work. I was very proud when I saw one of my senior colleagues in Ife walking the grounds of our hospital now and seeing patients. You know, it was wonderful. This is the great enablement that we've got now. Yeah.
That shows you are leveraging on your contacts to ensure you bring
and the federal power
and the federal might. Would you please explain that?
Yeah, you see, the federal budget for health is now at our behest, you know, and we can speak with the authority of the federal government that, you know, we're an MDA in Ondo State, and whatever, you know, devolves on all such institutions devolves on us. We're able to bring data for Ondo State to contest for federal funds. It's a major failure. Yes.
That shows the Renew Hope agenda of the personal administration is actually
practicalized now. Yes, in health matters. Yes.
So that shows Professor Ali Pati is listening to.
Yes, he came here to take over that hospital personally on the 23rd of October 2025. And anytime I show up in the federal ministry, oh, you're from Akure, and I say, what can we do for you? You know, this is a
definitely great the teaching hospital is putting the state and Akure in particular in global perspective.
On the map, yes, we're on the map.
That's great.
Because this hospital exists now, we're on the map.
That's great.
You know, you're on the map.
That's great. Yes. Prof, I want to say kudos for your efforts.
Yes, we should thank Mr. President. Actually.
Mr. President.
Yes, for granting us, for creating our hospital, and now listening to us and say that, look, Akure is one of the you know, Futa Teaching Hospital. Akure is listed as one of the federal teaching hospitals in the country, and that enables us, as I say, to contest for federal goodwill and federal funds.
All right. That shows those who actually led the agitation, at least like when we were discussing, that people who were actually agitating before now. On those days you have a teaching hospital, particularly the state capital. That shows we have cause to rejoice.
Yes, it's a great achievement, I must say. You know, the agitation is more than 2 decades that's been on, and this state, you know, has gained a lot by, you know, giving that as a takeoff point. Actually, it's a takeoff point. That's not the be-all and end-all of the hospital. We have a large expanse of land on which to start the permanent site. On the way to Wawa. The place has been surveyed, and we're developing the land utilization design, whereby we say what will be where. And then we would now, you know, develop proposals. We want to have a kidney center like this. You know, we want to have a pediatric surgical center like this. And all the possibilities is huge, actually. Huge.
So what we have here now at the hospital road, is just the take-off point.
Yes, take-off point. That's right.
I think the people are not getting it.
Okay.
Yeah, because barely a year that we have the teaching hospital, and we have a barrage of what I can call barrage of challenges. Your institution was in the news, your name was in the news, labor disputes here and there, absorption issue, IPPIS, whatever. But have those issues been laid to rest?
Well, I must say from the beginning that they are not unexpected, actually.
All right.
Because
but it's just because of the infancy of that institution. That's why, for me, as a non-medical professional, having that fear that how could we have these tertiary health facilities, and we have the union people saying no, when we supposed to work together as a team?
But I give it to them that people need to understand what's going on. There's a lot of misunderstanding. That hospital was taken over on the basis of a memorandum of understanding.
Oh, really?
Which was transacted between the federal government and the state government. That MOU has spelled out how the nature of the transfer, the seeding was seeded, and obviously there will be transition from the old hospital to the new hospital. Obviously, humans, as I was going to say, we resist change. Change is not comfortable thing. We know that change actually is the permanent feature of life, and I would have liked to, speak to adversaries or the people who are agitated to listen and take time and read the memorandum of understanding.
Is it in the public space?
Of course, it's a public document. I could send you one.
All right.
At the end of this meeting. It's envisaged all of these developmental or transition milestones. By the way, it's a standard document. It's used routinely. In my cohort of hospitals, 4 of us were created, 2 in the north, 2 in the south. And each got an MOU transacted and patiently explained and signed by the governor and by the minister on behalf of the federal government. So people who are agitating ought to afford themselves to read the transition document. And that's what we're going by. This is the operating document. If you're speaking out of it, I'll be at sea because it's my mandate. It's the legal framework which we are working on. I find people speaking are totally ignorant of the provisions of that document. And I find myself saying, look, this has been sorted. So how are staff who existed in the old hospital going to or not be taken over is spelled in the document. Yes, it's in the document. And I hear people say, you must come and capture everybody. He didn't say that. He says, being a federal teaching hospital, there is principles of transfer between the staff who want to use to work as a state worker, now wants to be a federal worker. There are basic selection criteria. This it's not rocket science. So, and as I said, it's taking place in every place. The agitation here, what's worrisome for me is otherwise highly educated people are speaking outside the framework.
The framework?
Yes.
As if they don't have
a copy. The framework is
well, are the leaders of these agitators?
Well, we made it available to them, but it seems that, it's more convenient to ignore
to speak out of it.
No, to ignore it. We couldn't. As I said, if you are speaking outside the provisions, I'll be at sea. Because it's what defines me, who I am, and what I'm supposed to do. It's my mandate. I read like a Bible,
So that document is the Bible of workability of that place?
It is. It's a framework for the transfer between the state and the federal. So I always ask, this is a provision. I still read it to my management committee. We had the management committee today. I read the provision. I brought it out. If my phone was with me, I would have read it to you. That, this is what we should do at this stage. It's been... So if people have problem with the memorandum, they shouldn't make me the sacrificial animal. They should go and say, look, you are the transactor on those state government, federal government. Please, could we have a meeting? No, please, people should leave me out of it. I didn't sign the document. I was given the document to actualize. Yes.
Will it be safe for me, Prof, to say that the document was prepared without carrying along the leadership of the agitators?
Well, I am not an authority in that. I don't like speaking when I'm not a lawyer. What I know is that this document was transacted, if you know what I mean. It was argued back and forth. And the authorities at the Federal Ministry of Health, the legal directorate, was very careful. I went between both of them, take it here. The state will say, this is not what I want to take it back. Until they say, okay, this is okay. And they said, let's come and sign it. And they sat down. And they signed. And it would interest you to know that upon signing, The federal minister, the legal director in federal ministry, took it to his office. I had to go and apply to get a copy. Yeah, got a copy, my own personal copy. And I'm sure the federal copy, I think I brought it for them. I said, this is the federal, the
state copy.
State government copy. But it's a public document. You can ask, I can give you at the end of this video, or you can ask for a copy. Yeah, I will send it to you. But you can also, Freedom of Information Act, to get a copy of it. What I would appeal to everybody listening to me is, before you start talking, read the document. If you have objections to the document, ask the people who transact.
So that you don't act in ignorance.
Yes. No, I mean, they're free to act whichever way they want to, but we all must aspire to keep it within the law. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Because some of the agitations that what is in the public space that they are arguing about, they're talking about IPPIS, they're talking about 50%, I think 55 of the people working there will only be captured. And again, they talked about, we are discussing all this just because I asked you initially that have they been put to
settled? Settled. I think where the transition is complete. I would say complete. In my own books. In my own books, there are two steps in the physical transfer. There is transfer of infrastructure, which was, you know, the federal authorities came and signed. On that day, there was one of the officers that came around and took note of the building, equipment, everything. Now, there was a very important asset, which is human. That is, in any human endeavor, the human input is the most important. You could have the best instruments and so on. If you don't have the right humans, you're not going to go anywhere. So this takeover of the staff has to be carefully done. It's prescribed in the document. How, who, and how it will be completed. The completion,
who is eligible,
the completion is what we just did, where those who are selected are captured biometrically for payrolling. So payrolling is, the data for payrolling has been complete, which means, to me, it's about 95%. The day the staff get paid is when the rule is done. And it's a mandate I have to achieve to make sure that the approved staff are payrolled. And this is where I am. The capture has been complete. So the payrolling process is what the IPPIS does. As you know, all federal workers must exist on that database of integrated personnel platform called IPPIS. So the hullabaloo that you refer to happened when IPPIS officials came to town. Yeah, that was when the crisis. People broke down, I would say, wanting to force their will over the MOU. The MOU is the standard document we should all refer to, actually.
Yes. Okay, Prof, I'm really enjoying this. I know, because it is our responsibility to ensure that we track issues when on in town, and to ensure that our people are well fed with facts. And with the way we are coming out telling us these, they are facts, and of which we still continue to engage in this conversation. But not until we go on a break now. When we come back, Prof is still in the house. Then we move on to other issues that we are going to discuss that has to do with tertiary health facilities in Ondo State. Stay with us. Tertiary health infrastructure, tertiary health facility, tertiary health care. Professor Olusegun Ojo is still in the house. But when I started the program, I forgot to ask from Prof the town, because you said you've been around for a while. That's if to this place is just under 1 hour. Are you from Irakoko?
No, not at all. I'm from Akure.
Let me say that it's good that you have told the people that you are from Akure.
By the way, that hospital, that's where I was born. That's why I was a house officer.
Ooh.
So, I mean,
so you have definitely you have a very good vision for that place.
Yeah.
Where you were born?
Yes.
And your house?
I was a house officer here.
Oh, wow.
Many years ago.
Okay. I thought that you are from Irakoko.
No, I'm not. I'm from Akure.
Akure,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Well, Prof is from Akure, the capital of Ondo State. At least we've been discussing the existence of the Federal Futa Teaching Hospital and what it's been doing to ensure that we gain momentum in moving forward and ensure that people in Ondo State don't need to go far, that you have it very close to you. And that would take me to this question, Prof.
Yes.
We have the Unimed Teaching Hospital in Ondo.
Yes.
We have the Federal Medical Center in Owo.
That's right.
Now we have the Futa Teaching Hospital in Akure.
Yes.
These are three leading cities in the state.
Yes.
If you look at it, Akure, Ondo, Owo.
Yes.
For now, though Ondo is a bit close to the south, but we don't have anyone in the south presently.
Yeah.
But maybe you are going to establish an annex there. But they are basically, Prof. I want to assume that with what we have and with this federal presence that you are bringing, that will be Ondo State will experience boom in medical tourism.
Yes. Well, before we talk about tourism, we should talk about the medical needs of the resident population. I'm sure you know that the City of London has 5 teaching hospitals. 5. You know, I would say each one of them would be like the size, maybe about 3 times the size of UCH. You know, in the City of London alone. So you could not have too much. For the population we have, particularly with the seat of government being in Akure, if we had 2 in Akure, it would not be too much actually. Because our population is the age, the longevity, how long people live is getting longer. And with that, and the well-being, people are getting more richer and more prosperous. And there are diseases that come with that. Diseases of the heart and the blood vessels. They're common now. You know, hypertension is 2 for a penny. Heart attack, read about it. Yeah, diabetes. So you need experts. These are not diseases of general practitioners. These are diseases. A diabetic, you see a diabetologist. If you have teaching hospitals, then the chances that you have such top-rate experts increases. So the medical needs of the local population is being looked after. You know, this is very important. Obviously, you then talk about if you have a sufficient, for example, if I have a specialized, a highly skilled neurosurgeon in Akure, and they may not be in Benin, then people will travel to come, and that's what you call tourism. As it is now today, the tourism story is against Ondo State because we don't have as many top experts that we have to have, particularly the seat of government ought to have top rate experts. You have, say for example, a top government official who the life and the sustenance of the economy depends a lot on him. If he needs an intervention, say suddenly took ill in the office, you don't say before you get in the car and ambulance, you'll be dead. But if you just, there's an ambulance or a helicopter, and you can land on the port of the hospital and say you can reverse heart attack in a matter of minutes. And this is what we're talking about: tertiary medical service. Our people have not conceptualized the idea very well. Then they will be more cooperative and understand that what we're trying to do, to provide a framework where highly skilled medical manpower will feel comfortable, well provided for, well housed, and feel safe, to come and make themselves available to solve medical problems. A lot of deaths we have now ought not to happen. The way they do. You say somebody has stroke, and you put them in a car driving to a war after 50 kilometers away. Come on, it's antediluvian, to say the least, to do that. People should have it at their doorsteps.
Yes. Because the other time you mentioned how happy you were when you saw one of your senior colleagues attending to
a patient on the grounds of the hospital. Yes.
And at least the person you are talking about should have come from somewhere.
Yeah, came from Ife on sabbatical.
Yes.
Sabbatical.
Definitely those who know him working in Ife, we want to come down to him.
Yes, of course. He will have patients. Yeah. I'm sure some of his patients come from Akure. They now see him in Akure here. See how joyous they will become.
And I talked about the expansion of a team within the facility you have now, the infrastructure there. That was when I talked about, asked about how you are coping. Because definitely we should be seeing changes to what it used to be.
Certainly. One of the advantages, one of the benefits I've derived is that we now have federal budget. For example, I was granted a take-off grant. I was paid a take-off grant in the last couple of days. With that, there are certain things I'm going to make right immediately. And we have a budget, federal budget, routine budget that was given us this year. We've developed a 5-year development plan and asking for intervention funds for them. 5 years, in 5 years, we want this hospital to look like this. We've already laid the plans. And our request is before Mr. President to look with pity on us and say, well, you guys have been staffed for so long, and you need a good state-of-the-art hospital. We'll develop it over 5 years. So we invest this amount of money over the next 5 years. We provided a framework. And this is the great opportunity that we have. And we should continue to nurse it and grab it with both hands. Yes.
That's good. Prof, the Tinubu administration is rejoicing over its efforts reversing the Japa syndrome. For me, I don't want to believe, because people are still rushing away. But in the health sector, you will know better than we do. But is it true that we now have, because I'm afraid that most of these people that you'll be training, because your College of Medicine is there, and they will be having they will have where to train, that some of these people, the moment they are left off the hook, they go. But what has been the experience? Is it true that we have people who are considering that Nigeria is getting better than we can?
There's no doubt about that. That the Honorable Coordinating Minister of Health, Professor Ali Pate, has put a program on ground that's improving the working environment for the Nigerian doctor. For example, I told you a few moments back that there are 4 hospitals in my cohort that were created early part of last year. There's Kumo in the north, there's Gombe, a general hospital in Gombe, there's one general hospital in Uvian in Delta State, and then Futa Teaching Hospital. All of us have been provided with opportunity to develop a standard tertiary care for our respective communities. That's a great achievement by the government. Beyond that, there are concepts, as I just told you, the initiative to create power supply, alternative sources of power for all federal teaching hospitals. There are about 98 of us who attended that conference I'm talking about, so that you don't get to a hospital, you can't buy an equipment because there's no power supply, and so on. or the power supply is unreliable, it's epileptic and all that. So the government is providing a great working environment. I just told you that one of my colleagues was attracted to come and give service. He's from this state as well. He was the former provost of the medical school in Ife, and he's a great endocrinologist, and he's going to spend the next 1 year seeing patients here, which is wonderful. So about Japa syndrome, it must be said that this is a worldwide phenomenon.
All right.
For example, my son-in-law just immigrated to Canada from England as a doctor, because they pay back to Canada. Yeah, he just came home and said, "Dad, I need to just the difference in pay is so you cannot."
Maybe he just wanted to change your environment.
No, not change. The huge money they pay
in Canada.
Yes. So people will always look for the best deal. Those of us in the third world countries will be badly hit for some time to come, because you cannot compare the pay here. I have a daughter who is a medical doctor. The first day she got the first pay, I felt dizzy. When I have been a doctor for over 40 years.
For years?
Yeah, for 40 years. Yeah, my salary won the first pay of a house officer. Come on. So there are other factors that determine that. One major factor is having the equipment to work. If a doctor gets a decent equipment, he needs this and he provides that, the push to go, you say, come on, I have many people I can look after. Who are my relations? Well, they could take leaves and go and train and come back. You have attraction. All of us have a patriotic spirit within us. We jettison it when it is threatening our existence. When people don't get salaries, or they go to hospital, there's no light to work. So you're pushing them. It's like you're pushing them. What dragged me to Akure now is that, there's not a medical school, I need to contribute. There's a teaching hospital we need to develop. So it's a complicated thing, but I can assure you that we are in a better place than we were 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
So, and it can only improve for as long as I say it. Yes.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. But I want us to look at the training of medical doctors.
Yeah.
At least you were a provost of a college of medicine before becoming the CMD. Is it not becoming too strenuous and capital intensive to train medical doctors these days compared to what it used to be when scholarships here and there, than you people enjoying free meal in the university that we didn't have the opportunity of enjoying? And now we have all these young ones going through a whole lot just to become medical doctors.
It's always been expensive to train medical manpower. It is medical treatment. It's also expensive. It's always been. What differs from country to country is the strategy of providing payment for those things you must do. You are right. In the olden days, there was, money to pay to students. For example, in my medical school in Lagos, there's a whole block that was contributed by the Western State government. I see this building was the Department of Physiologists, 4 floors, that was developed by Western State government as a contribution to the college. Now, many governments now have other things contesting for funds. So that to get them to contribute to medical training, it's not as easy as it was. We also have a number more, the population is bigger, social spending is increasing, the hospitals are increasing in number. So this is what is changing. The cost has always been high. But we are happy that for the College of Medicine, which I'm still the College of Health Sciences of Food, I'm still much interested in it, working with them. You would know that accreditation was recently granted. The cost of making provisions for that accreditation is mind-bending. But we have many philanthropists now who provide money to join government money to get it done. So training of medical training and medical service as always, it's expensive everywhere. You can have one item of equipment costing billions. What is different is the model for financing. Many countries have a virile insurance, medical insurance program. Nigeria is not doing badly in that we started. The coverage of the population by insurance is increasing, but it's not nearly what it ought to be. So insurance provides money. Alternative, there are bodies who specialize in providing funds. And I was telling you that the upgrade of that hospital to a federal teaching hospital puts us on a good pedestal where we can attract, donor funding, from WHO and so on. Once they will ask federal government and say, we need a hospital that we can equip or assist to equip. And they say, yes, there's a future teaching hospital in Akure. They need this, they need that. The Honorable Coordinating Minister made a trip to China last year. And coming from that trip, they wrote to all federal teaching hospitals, please, can you itemize all radiology equipment you would need? Because there is inter-government cooperation now, where the government of China wants to equip hospitals. So such opportunities are coming because we are not a federal teaching hospital.
Prof, this is what is a bit news to us in Ondo State. Yeah, you're having a good federal presence in terms of health in the heart of the town. And I know for someone that has been practicing for over 40 years, a provost of College of Medicine, because there was a time there was this fear that the College of Medicine would not be accredited. The one you mentioned that and you were there when it was accredited.
Yes, it is. I mean,
that
already
became a very vital role in getting it accredited.
Well,
because I mentioned that you have always been part of those people accrediting other institutions.
Well, on another front, I was the chairman of the Faculty of Pathology of the National Postgraduate Medical College for 4 years. I attended last December. And as a faculty, I led accreditation to accredit hospitals. Like we would have to invite them to accredit our facilities here. And there are many reasons you need to be accredited. When you are accredited, you are telling people you are up to standard and you want to train. Our aim then was to accredit hospitals to train. So we went all over the country to see who is maintaining standards and who is not up to scratch. So that way I was involved with accreditation. Now, the accreditation of the medical school is carried out by the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, and their purpose is to ensure that medical training is up to scratch, it's up to world standard. And up to today, don't mind our problems, Nigeria still has a standard Medical and Dental Council. If you are any Nigerian going to doctor who is going to travel abroad now, they ask the Medical Council to say whether he has been properly trained. And if the Medical Council says you've been properly trained, they admit you into their practice. And I'm sure you heard stories of Nigerians making the waves. So we are respected because the Medical and Dental Council insists on standards. People don't like it, but they do. So the prescription, when I became provost of the College of Health Sciences of FUTA, being chairman at the time of the Faculty of Pathology, I was on the board. Of course, I know the standards, and I gave it to the VC. These are the standards they'll be asking. And we then started working to get it. And I'm happy to announce to you that we scaled that hurdle. Yes. And having a teaching hospital was number one. You didn't have a teaching hospital affiliated to your college. I mean, the discussion cannot start.
So now the students of the College of Medicine can
proceed to the clinical school.
Clinical school now stay of their training
at the hospital.
If you are just joining us, Professor Olusegun Ojo, the Chief Medical Director of the FUTA Teaching Hospital, is our guest today that we are having conversation with regarding the health of the people, because it's good to safeguard the health of the people, and that is why you have these emeritus pathologists I said I wanted to call him that name. He said, no, I'm just a leading pathologist.
No.
But someone who has been practicing for 40
still
years.
Practicing
someone who has been practicing for 4 years is an emeritus pathologist.
No, emeritus means you retired, actually.
Okay, but you said the other time that you are looking for a way that you have people to come and rest. Not rest per se. All these experts, people who have been on the job practicing for years, at least they can come down here and relieve the opportunity to
serve. To serve our people.
Because we discussed that behind the scenes. You quickly let people.
Well, we are providing the framework whereby top experts can either come. I want to retire and take up a contract job with you, because where I retired, provided such. And if you can provide it for me, I'd like to do this to continue to give service. One thing about a professional is that you derive a lot of joy in serving, in showing your skill, before you talk about money. And this is why many doctors are poor, because they don't call their price. One of what pays them is, oh yeah, I've helped that patient. I've given. That patient is better. His life is improved. You feel good. That's a lot of payment. Yes, and this is what stemming the brain drain has to be. You have to do that to make people enjoy practicing. So the need to go. Who wants to travel? And go to a place where it's not familiar. Like one of my colleagues
want to go to Japan. Like take you about 18 hours.
One of my colleagues used to practice in Saudi Arabia. He came back. I said, "Boy, you're not allowed to say." No, that place is not. I don't like it. He just came back because although he got a lot of money and mind-bending payment, but he thought that you come and service people.
Honestly, I'm happy, and I want us to have as many as people like you around us. Honestly, because patriotism is there, and the passion for the job is equally there. Because,
make a difference.
But like what Obafemi Awolowo said, that if you don't enjoy your work, you cannot enjoy your life. So when we can do things that will make people enjoying their lives and enjoying their work, at least the job will continue to go. Prof, our time is fast spent, and for me, it's just like we should be going on till around 2 a.m. But I know you, from your tight schedule, you just ensure that you are present on the program today. But as a closing shot from you, I want you to let the people know where do you see this teaching hospital, because people have been saying, it's a teaching hospital, that's all there. You see, but not just because I know with the zeal and the way we've discussed, you don't just want a teaching hospital for teaching hospital's sake. You want a reference. A teaching hospital that will be a reference. If I'm speaking your mind.
Yes, you have. Incidentally, I always tell my management that we're lucky that we are called upon to, lay the ground for a hospital. And as a leader of the team, I always tell them we're making a foundation for 100-year hospital.
100 years.
Yes. Where you lay a foundation, you build such a fantastic society. Wow. When you're building a house, the foundation tells you what quality of house you're building. You couldn't lay a foundation with mud, and expect to put no, you couldn't. So we're laying a very solid foundation for this hospital. I have traveled, I've seen, and I have practiced. I've seen many countries, and I think we deserve a standard teaching hospital that we can be proud of. And I want to thank the government of the president, Bola Tinubu, for creating this hospital for us. I want to thank the state governor for his passionate support of our efforts, which is still continuing. And I want to thank our people here, the leaders of the community, the Akure, and the Akure speaking communities who give us every support, putting their money, for example, into the accreditation of the medical school. You know, we're doing a great job together, and we want to deliver a hospital that is solid and will be our pride and serve our needs.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Prof.
you very much, sir. Thank you.
And I will always want to bring you when we have to discuss not only your teaching hospital,
Yes.
but we bring you to discuss national issues relating to health. Well, on the next week, Professor Olusegun Ojo has given you the parting shots. For me, I want to leave you in the hand of God and say, until Thursday next week, that I will come your way with another erudite scholar or someone making waves in the town. I am your host, Taiwo Ibitoye, saying goodbye.